In the attendance module, let's delve into the shift schedule list to manage employee work timings and schedules effectively. Types of schedules: flexible, night, single, dual, multi, each offering unique options for managing shift patterns. Flexible allows for adaptable shifts to accommodate varying needs and preferences. Night, specifically for shifts during nighttime hours. Single, standard shifts with fixed start and end times. Dual, involves overlapping shifts to cover extended operational hours. Multi, supports complex shift patterns involving multiple shifts within a day or across different days. To add a new schedule, simply click on the plus icon located at the top right corner of the shift schedule list. Type of schedule, choose flexible from the drop-down menu. Name of schedule, enter a name for the flexible schedule. This could be on-duty time, choose the starting time for the shift, indicating when employees should report for work. In the provided example, the on-duty time is set to 0:01, indicating the start time of the shift. Off-duty time, select the end time for the shift, indicating when employees can leave work, and the off-duty time is set to 23:59, indicating the end time of the shift. Min working HRS, specify the minimum number of hours that employees are required to work during the shift. Let's say you want to set a minimum working hour requirement for a flexible shift. For instance, if you specify min working HRS as 9 hours, it means that employees scheduled for this shift must work for at least 9 hours. OT start after duty HRS, define the start time for overtime if employees work beyond their regular shift hours. Alternatively, if you want overtime to start 30 minutes after the regular shift ends, you would enter 0:30 in the OT start after duty HRS box. This means that if an employee works past 11:59 p.m., overtime will begin at 30 minutes past midnight. Working days, tick the checkboxes for the days of the week when this flexible schedule applies, allowing employees to work on specific days. For example, if you want the flexible schedule to apply to all weekdays, you would tick the checkboxes for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. This means that employees are scheduled to work on these weekdays according to the flexible schedule. If you also want the schedule to include weekends, you would additionally tick the checkboxes for Saturday and Sunday. This indicates that the flexible schedule covers all days of the week, allowing employees to work on both weekdays and weekends as per the defined schedule. Half-day, not applicable. This indicates that the system or organization does not support half-day shifts for employees. There is no option to select the duration of half-day shifts because they are not applicable in this context. Weekdays selection. This allows you to choose the specific days of the week when the flexible schedule applies. You can select from Monday to Sunday based on the organization's needs or employee preferences. It determines which days are included in the flexible schedule, indicating when employees are expected to work. Number of working hours. If half-days are enabled, specify the number of hours for the half-day shift. If Wednesday is designated as a half-day, and you want to specify the number of hours for the half-day shift, let's say the half-day shift on Wednesday is 5 hours long. You would enter 5 o'clock or simply 5 depending on the input format required by the system. Weekend 1 and Weekend 2. Choose options for weekend shifts if the schedule includes work on weekends, certainly. When the options are set as not applicable for both Weekend 1 and Weekend 2, it means that there are no specific arrangements for weekend shifts. Similarly, selecting not applicable for monthly flexible holidays implies that there are no predefined flexible holidays set for each month. This configuration suggests that the schedule does not include any special provisions for Weekend 2. Selecting flexible for Weekend 1 and Weekend 2 means that the scheduling system allows for flexibility in determining which days will constitute the weekend. For example, if the standard weekend is Saturday and Sunday, choosing flexible enables the user to customize the weekend according to their specific requirements. They can designate any 2 consecutive days as the weekend, such as Friday and Saturday or Sunday and Monday. The from date and to date fields allow you to specify the period during which the flexible schedule will be in effect. For example, if you want the flexible schedule to start on April 25, 2024, you would select that date in the from date field. Similarly, if you want the flexible schedule to end on April 25, 2025, you would select that date in the To Date field. This establishes the timeframe within which the flexible scheduling options you've configured will apply. Once you have configured all the parameters for the schedule, click on the Submit button to save your settings and apply the flexible schedule with the specified details. When choosing the night option in the types of schedule, you are setting up a shift that primarily operates during nighttime hours. When selecting the night schedule type, you are configuring a shift that typically operates during the nighttime hours. This type of schedule is commonly used for work shifts that begin in the evening and end in the early morning. Let's configure the details for this night shift. In the Name of Schedule field, you would enter night shift to indicate the specific schedule for employees working during nighttime hours. On duty time, this is the time when employees are expected to start their night shift. For example, if the night shift starts at 2000 hours, you would enter 2000 hours in this box. Give another example, off-duty time. This is the time when the night shift ends. For instance, if the night shift ends at 8 o'clock, you would enter 8 o'clock in this box. Min working HRS, specify the minimum number of hours an employee must work during the night shift. For example, if the minimum working hours are 8 hours, you would enter 8 o'clock in this box. OT start after duty HRS. If overtime starts after a specific duration into the shift, enter that duration here. For instance, if overtime starts 1 hour after the start of the shift, you would enter 1 o'clock in this box. Beginning in, this indicates the official start time of the night shift. For example, if the night shift officially begins at 7 p.m., you would enter 1900 hours in this box. Beginning out, you might use the Beginning Out box to specify the time the outgoing employee finishes their shift. If the outgoing shift ends at 10 a.m., you would enter 2200 hours in this box. Ending in, this represents the official end time of the shift, which is set to 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. Ending out, employees can end their shift earlier than the official end time if necessary, and here it's set to 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. Late, employees are allowed to arrive late for their shift, up to 0:15, 12:15 a.m. Early, similarly, employees can leave early from their shift, up to 0:15, 12:15 a.m. Absent for in. If an employee arrives later than 1 o'clock a.m., they are considered absent for the start of their shift, absent for out. Likewise, if an employee leaves earlier than 1 o'clock a.m., they are considered absent at the end of their shift. Once you have configured all the parameters for the schedule, click on the Submit button to save your settings and apply the flexible schedule with the specified details. The single schedule offers a straightforward shift structure with fixed start and end times, ensuring simplicity and consistency. The name of the schedule you're setting up. For example, if you're creating a schedule for day shifts, you could enter day shift, off-duty time, employees finish their shift at this time. Here, it's 6 p.m., indicating an 8-hour workday. Min working HRS, employees are required to work a minimum of 9 hours per day. Min working HRS, 9 o'clock employees are required to work a minimum of 9 hours per day. OT start after duty HRS, 0:30 overtime begins 30 minutes after the regular shift ends, at 12:30 a.m., beginning in, 6 o'clock. This represents the official start time of the shift. Employees are expected to begin work at 6 a.m., beginning out, 1300 hours. Employees have the option to start their shift later than the official start time. In this case, they can start as late as 1 p.m. Ending in 1500 hours. This is the official end time of the shift. Employees finish work at 3 p.m., ending out 2100 hours. Employees have the option to end their shift earlier than the official end time. Here, they can finish work as early as 9 p.m. Late, 0:15 employees can arrive late for their shift up to 15 minutes past the official start time, at 12:15 a.m. Early, 0:15 similarly, employees can leave early from their shift up to 15 minutes before the official end time, at 12:15 a.m. Absent for in, 1 o'clock. If an employee arrives later than 1 a.m., they are considered absent for the start of their shift. Absent for out, 1 o'clock. If an employee leaves earlier than 1 a.m., they are considered absent at the end of their shift. Working days, Monday through Friday. The shift schedule applies from Monday to Friday. half-day, not applicable. There are no half-day provisions in this schedule. Weekend 1 and Weekend 2, not applicable. The schedule does not specify weekend shifts, from date and to date. The schedule is valid from April 25, 2024 to April 25, 2025. Auto shift set to flexible allows employees to choose their start and end times within a specified range, ensuring they work the required minimum hours. Once you have configured all the parameters for the schedule, click on the Submit button to save your settings and apply the single schedule with the specified details. Type of schedule. Select the type of schedule from the drop-down menu. In this case, it's dual. Name of schedule. Enter the name or title for this particular shift schedule. Choose a descriptive name that helps identify this schedule, such as split shift. On duty time, 9 o'clock. This is when employees begin their shift, which is at 9 a.m. Off duty time, 1700 hours. Employees end their shift at this time, which is at 5 p.m., beginning in 6 o'clock. The earliest time employees can start their shift is at 6 a.m., beginning out 1600 hours. Employees have the option to start their shift later than the official start time, with the latest start time being 4 p.m., ending in 6 o'clock. The earliest time the shift can end is at 6 a.m. the next day. Ending in 6 o'clock. The earliest time the shift can end is at 6 a.m. the next day, ending out 1300 hours. Employees can choose to end their shift earlier than the official end time, with the latest end time being 1 p.m. Section 2. On duty time, 1700 hours. Employees start their second shift at 5 p.m. Off duty time, 2359. The second shift ends at 11:59 p.m. Beginning in 1800 hours. The earliest employees can start their second shift is at 6 p.m. Beginning out 2000 hours. Employees can choose to start their second shift later than the official start time, with the latest start time being 8 p.m., ending in 2000 hours. Employees can end their second shift as early as 8 p.m., ending out 2359. The latest employees can end their second shift is at 11:59 p.m. Common section, late time. 0:15. Employees can arrive late for their shift up to 15 minutes past the official start time, at 12:15 a.m. Early time. 0:15. Employees can leave early from their shift up to 15 minutes before the official end time, at 12:15 a.m. Absent in 1 o'clock. If an employee arrives later than 1 a.m., they are considered absent for the start of their shift. Absent out 1 o'clock. If an employee leaves earlier than 1 a.m., they are considered absent at the end of their shift. Min working HRS. 9 o'clock. Employees are required to work a minimum of 9 hours per shift. OT start after duty. HRS 0:30. Overtime begins 30 minutes after the regular shift ends, at 12:30 a.m. Working days, half day, weekend 1, weekend 2, from date to date. Configure additional details such as working days, half-day provisions, weekend shifts, and the validity period of the schedule. Once all the details are filled in, click on the Submit button to save the shift schedule. Type of schedule. This drop-down allows you to select the type of schedule. In this case, multi is selected, indicating that the schedule may consist of multiple shifts or sections. Name of schedule. Here you can assign a name to the specific shift schedule you are creating. It could be a descriptive name that helps identify the schedule, such as multi-shift or any other relevant name. On duty time, 0:01. This is the time when the shift begins. In this case, the shift starts at 12:01 a.m. Off duty time, 23:59. This is the time when the shift ends. Here, the shift ends at 11:59 p.m., indicating a 24-hour operational period. Min working HRS. 9 o'clock. Employees are required to work a minimum of 9 hours per day. OT start after duty. HRS 0:30. Overtime begins 30 minutes after the regular shift ends, at 12:30 a.m. Working days, Monday through Sunday. The shift schedule applies from Monday to Sunday, indicating a 7-day workweek. Half day, not applicable. Configure additional details such as working days, half-day provisions, weekend shifts, and the validity period of the schedule. Weekend 1 and weekend 2, not applicable. The schedule does not specify separate weekend shifts. From date, the schedule is valid from April 27, 2024, to date. The schedule is valid until April 26, 2025. Once all the details are filled in, Click on the Submit button to save the shift schedule.